A FAM production for all things mattress. FAM.news.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are about to meet, if you have not yet, the world's most superhuman retail manager, friend of the show, a star on FAM.news, Andrew Mattman. Schlesser on the show today.
Welcome to the Dos Marcos Show with Mark Kinsley and Mark Quinn, where mattress and furniture leaders gather to grow, get the inside scoop, tell stories, and take tequila shots.
Uno, dos, tequila!
Welcome aboard. Here's your passport to a planet filled with the mattress industry's brightest minds and biggest ideas. Meet your guides.
I'm Mark Kinsley, President and CEO of Englander.
And I'm Mark Quinn, co-founder of Spink & Co. and VP of Sherwood Bedding.
Together, they are Dos Marcos.
The galaxy's greatest mattress podcast has liftoff in 3, 2, 1.
Riding bikes, coming down a hill, me and two of my buddies. And there she is, this Angus heifer staring us in the face, blocking the road. It's a gauntlet. So it's a standoff face-off. And then I look over to my left, and caught in the barbed wire fence, another black Angus heifer. And her little calf is inside the pasture. She's freaking out, pulling her leg in the barbed wire. She's caught. She's tangled. The other cow looks at us, tries to climb up an embankment, slides back down, thinks she's going to break her leg. The owner of the cattle emerges from the road. She's desperate. She needs help. And she comes up the road. She says, I don't know what to do. I said, don't worry, we're going to help you. Somehow, at that moment, I spooked the cow that was caught. It jumps over the fence into the pasture where it was supposed to be. We take off on our bikes. We corral the other calf back into the fence, just less than a quarter mile down the way, jump off my bike, pull the gate shut, save the day. Speaking of saving the day, we have a superhero on our show today. Andrew Mattman Schlesser. Now, that's a true story. Now, are you really a sleep superhero?
Bonafide, baby. I'm the Bruce Wayne of beds.
Do you guys have an annual meeting, Mattman? Is there a place like superheroes go, kind of like in the Santa Claus movie? They had the Tooth Fairy and the Sandman and all those guys. They had like a collective meeting where everyone goes. Superheroes go. Do they have something like that for you?
Yeah, it comes with the wristband. Believe. So once you get one of these puppies on, you have unfettered access to HQ. And you can hang out with all the other, superheroes and stuff like that. We're all trading stories.
I knew that was a thing, and that's why during that moment, whenever we saved the cattle, I felt like a superhero for a moment. I'm like, this must be how Mattman feels every day, because he is a sleep superhero.
Did you ever think about calling Mattman? Did you ever think about calling Mattman Kinsley in the middle of the moment? You were like, oh my God, I got to save these cows. Did it cross your mind what would Mattman do?
The cows looked pretty rested, so I didn't feel like it was a territory where I needed to bother him, because he spends most of his time helping people get the sleep they deserve. What is your tagline? Or your tag phrase?
Oh, I'm Mattman. I fight the things that keep you up at night. By the power of the pillow, the might of the mattress, and the surety of the sheets, we have your game plan for better sleep, so you can stay asleep, fall asleep faster, stay asleep longer, and get the good night's rest you deserve.
And who's your sidekick?
It's Pillow Pupper.
Hold on, let's see Pillow Pupper. If you're watching on video, number one.
He was in the process of actually being a pillow, just laying on a blanket. So, here, hey buddy. Say, how you doing? He's just like, oh, my God, you just woke me up, dude. But
poor Pillow Pupper. Now, if you're watching on video, Mattman is in full Mattman regalia. He has his sleep superhero suit on. And Pillow Pupper, you know what I noticed? We're going to talk about Pillow Pupper because I saw him do a little bit of a photo bomb whenever you were doing the door counts dance. But I want you to talk first about our partnership with Nationwide, because the last time we got to hang out, I think, was on the primetime floor, the last time that Nationwide had primetime in person. And I know you guys have a really great relationship with the folks at Nationwide, and they are trendsetters. They're identifying what's happening in the marketplace and helping independent retailers survive and thrive and be ahead of the curve. And one of those ways was through the outdoor furniture category. Tell us that story.
Yeah, I mean, like we got to like July of last year, and everyone had been through the shutdown, and everyone was going through game plans. And if you just kind of like took a second to reflect back at prime time in February, Nationwide was literally saying, "Hey guys, outdoor stuff, it's coming. Like this is going to be the experience. Everyone wants to hang out with friends and family. You can do grills, you can do furniture, all sorts of accessories. So they even had a giant barbecue. Like literally, it was like a giant barbecue fest at the last primetime. So I mean, they called it. Like they called it. And even if without the pandemic, they still called it because the experience of hanging out with everybody. That's what we miss. So now that we're kind of getting back to that, I mean, if you've invested in what they said, hey, this is where it's going, you're going to be at the forefront of growth as things kind of party in the USA.
So you're with Sweet Dreams Mattress and Furniture in the Lake Norman, North Carolina area. So back when Nationwide made that proclamation, essentially that you got to get into the outdoor furniture category, Sweet Dreams went in on it.
Well, we did for furniture, yeah, from one of our partners and vendors, because when the shutdown happened, especially, we're just trying to figure out where are people going to need this stuff. So, yeah, we didn't get into grills, but we do have outdoor furniture now, and we had always hesitated on it, and now it's like, hey, here's some vendors that we know that you can get some hot deals on, and here's the stuff. Why don't you try it? Because it wasn't just. We weren't just at primetime. It was a showroom. Primetime's not a C room or a tell room. It's a showroom. You actually get to try this stuff out and see it, and they show it to you. Get the full experience. So, we're all in.
Well, that's great. I mean, and that's just one of the many things that we talk about with Nationwide. As an independent retailer, you got to tap into a network that can help you see things you may not see and have a sense of community where you may feel isolated. And I know you guys are some of the best at Nationwide about bringing people together. And this is definitely one of my favorite stories that's ever happened in the industry. You wrote a song, and the next thing we know, we're at primetime on the floor. I'm playing guitar. You're singing. We've got a whole group of people. Quinn is singing. We're all singing. We got a crowd attracted. And Nationwide's, yeah, we're going to make a video out of this. And hum a couple of bars for us from that song. Do you remember it?
I'm gonna take my mattress down the road, 5-star delivery to your home. Yeah.
Boom. And it was a play off of Old Town Road.
Yeah, they'd just gone, I wrote that the night before even at dinner. It's like one of those divined moments. Not that I got that from a good night's sleep, because I don't think you sleep very well at prime time.
Kinsley, to your credit, Mattman told you about it, and you found a guitar, right? I mean,
Chris Kuster,
no time at all. Chris hooked us up with a guitar. Kinsley figured out how to pick the song, and before you know it, we're doing stage direction and coordinating the crowd. And the great guys at Primetime Media brought some cameras to film it, and inside of an hour, we were doing the music video. So that was pretty funny. Great job there, Mattman.
Excellent work. Hey, you know what? We'll put that video, we'll link to that video in the show on fam.news. So if you go over to fam.news and you go to the Dos Marcos show, we'll put that video up there. And you're cracking me up also. We're going to talk about, by the way, on the show today, how energy attracts traffic. And we're going to talk about the principles and the power of serving people and Mattman's award from the Chamber of Commerce, how he uses the hatch method, sleep tips, foot traffic drivers, all packaged up, the vehicle being Mattman. He's dressed as a superhero. He is a sleep superhero, but you were cracking me up because you do something called the door counts dance. And we love door counts. We love Jerry and Amber and Brad and the whole crew and Jack, all of them. They're amazing people. And you at Sweet Dreams use door counts, and you don't just use it like normal people. So, number one, tell us about the door counts dance and then how you use it.
Well, I sent you pictures just so you could show these people. But basically, a lady used to work for us. Her name is Susan. And she and I were hard after it. And she plays this game where we'd say, hey, let's be there a little early on Saturday. And the first person in gets the first customer through the door. and then we planned for 9 o'clock, and she'd come at 8:50. And so then I'd always lose because I'm coming from 45 minutes away. She's coming from 5. And so then I kept trying to come in earlier than her, and she just was a few minutes earlier every time. So then I started coming in super early, like 8 a.m. Like we'd say 9, I'd come in at 8. Take that, right? And so, but that helped form a great habit. Now that we have door counts, it's on Saturdays. Like me and the guy that I work with, his name is Andrew Lancaster. We get that picture in the morning and we make it good because, man, beat you. So that's the fire. But then we're there early so we can open up early. Then we're there where we get all our stuff done early. And so every time I come through the door, I try to perfect that door counts dance. That moment it snaps the picture so that you're doing something intentional. Because then I got other people who are looking in to see the door counts because multiple stores of people can see if their customers have been in at any of our locations. And occasionally you just see the first picture of the day and it's this guy going, woo! Or, so everyone kind of sees that picture. Everyone has a little bit of fun when they're checking these regular things. But the customers, man, like think of, you get one shot for a mattress every decade and they happen to come into your store that day. You got there early to, have some fun on door counts. You got your store ready. That customer experience is now elevated. So, what good is driving traffic to your store if you're not going to be ready for it, right? So that puts us in the full mode of, bring it on.
But Andrew, on that note, though, when you do that stuff, I mean, you do it for fun, right? But I mean, to Kinsley's point at the top of the show, we talked about energy and how it attracts store traffic. But I mean, it's also just kind of getting yourself prepared, right? So mentally, and if you're up and if you're smiling, if you're having fun, if you're preparing for your day, that's mental prep, right? I mean, isn't that a big part of kind of that whole ceremony, like right before you get into it for the day?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, any team, they come together for their huddle. And we don't necessarily have a team to huddle, but you've got to have that routine. And you've got to have that way to psych yourself up. Because when it comes to sales and retail, you're only going to get as much energy as you bring. Like, people aren't super excited to come shop for a mattress or any of that. So when you're excited about sleep and you're excited about the products you carry, you bring that excitement, you give it to them. So you gotta psych yourself up, and you gotta be ready. You gotta really be ready in today's world.
You know what I want to do right here, right now? I'm calling it. I've never seen anybody call it the door counts dance, and you sent me those photos, and we'll put them up in the post associated with this podcast. So if you go to fam.news/podcast or go to the Dos Marcos show on fam.news. We're going to post Mattman's door counts dance photos, one of which includes Pillow Pupper. Here's what I want to do, though. Send us your door counts dance. And I love this because the moment you walk in, if you do some sort of pose, go get inspiration from Mattman, thumbs up, high five, something energetic, send us your door counts dance photos anytime before the end of May. So you got plenty of time here. And we're going to send you a copy of Come Back to Bed, our book, our #1 Amazon bestseller, Forbes must-read, Entrepreneur Magazine must-read books of 2021. And it's inspired by Mattman because I love this because if you walk in and the moment you step foot in your store, your energy and enthusiasm are on display, even though nobody's there, you're setting the tone for that environment. You're putting that good vibes out into your little universe. And so I want to see you do your door counts dance. Just tag us on social, email them to us. You can go to our contact form. You inspired it, Mattman. I love it. And, it goes back to an old thing that some other retailers used to say. A sale is the transfer of enthusiasm. So I like having the enthusiasm present even before people get there.
That's right. Pro tip for those people taking those door counts. You might need to turn your light switch on if it's something that you can do before you walk through there. So... yeah, we had a dark room, so I turned the light switch on. It takes a bright picture.
Beautiful.
It's a dance.
I love it. Well, okay, here's what I'd like to do. First of all, I want to talk about the origin of Mattman. But I think to really set the tone for that, we got to jump in and we got to do do a sleep tip. I mean, we've got your music here. You have coming up, I mean, it's going to be before long, a dozen episodes of the Adventures of Mattman podcast on fam.news. So you have your own show. It's about to have its own feed. But so much of that is you having fun with the Mattman character and giving great sleep tips. And I see the book behind you, Sleep Smarter, which I know you carry as part of your suit. So here we go.
It's time to become a sleep superhero.
From the horse's mouth.
Woo!
Give us your top sleep tip. If somebody's going to come in once every decade to buy a mattress, it's a huge opportunity to set them on a transformational path. What do you tell them?
Oh, man, you got to write down what time you're going to bed tonight. Like, start today. You got to write it down. I literally have my sleep schedule, like, within arm's reach. Everywhere I go, it's like right here at the bottom, 9:30, 9:30, 9:30, 9:30, 9:30. You write, like, how is any tip I give you going to do anything for you if you don't know what time you're going to bed? So, like, a caffeine curfew is worthless if you're going to bed earlier or later than the caffeine's out of your body. You know, like that, you have to set that routine first. And by writing it down, and then up here, it's a wake-up time, 5:30 every day, right? So 9:30, 9:30, 5:30, 5:30. And 8+ weeks into this, I suddenly started realizing, am I sleeping that great? I changed like one tiny detail, and whoa, that was amazing. Okay. But it started with the habit of writing down my sleep schedule every single week. Like if this sounds like, oh man, I don't got time for that. Well, I want to unlock superpowers. I want to keep my superpowers unlocked because we're up against a 2021 like brute force, like supply chain disruption, all this stuff going on. You can't even, like, if you get vaccinated and you're not getting good sleep the week prior, it's 50% less effective for you. So what good is getting vaccinated if you're not getting a healthy night's or healthy week's sleep up until the point you get that shot? So you got to make it count. This is where it starts. Plot that stuff out and go big or go home.
You know, out of all the books that I've read too, you just captured it. All of the experts say have a bedtime. If you could do one thing, you have a bedtime because it creates a set point for melatonin release. It's actually within your first, I think, lead up to your REM cycle that human growth hormone gets released. So if you're exercising and lifting weights. So yeah, I mean, wow. Doesn't that sound simple? Just have a bedtime and stick to it.
Andrew, are you also using a tracker? Are you using any kind of biometric measure?
Not yet, but it's coming. I've actually got a Google Hub 2, like the second generation Google Hub 2 that I'm going to start using. And the idea is like, look, if I go on vacation and stuff, I just need to know how it works without all the technology. I'm kind of going back to the basics before I dive in with that stuff because, you know, I just really want to focus on the habits. Like my goal isn't to sleep great at night. My goal is to have the habits of somebody who sleeps great at night. And so then it's way easier to take the actions of a wind down, like a go to sleep routine and a wake up routine, or, you know, what kind of food I'm going to eat. And I can measure it. But at some point here, Sleep Tracker is absolutely going under the bed or next to the bed because now I got to see, you know, when my old habits creep in, how is that changing the bar?
So you guys, you know, we've talked about this before, Kinsley. It's funny because if you think about weight loss, right? If you're really into weight loss and you want to lose weight, then you can take a diet pill.
Sure.
Right? But a diet pill is no more a solution for being overweight than a sleeping pill is a solution for getting better sleep, right? So think about it. If you really want to lose weight, it's behavior change, right? It's not just, you know, taking a diet pill. It's what are you putting in your mouth? What kind of exercise are you getting? What kind of sleep are you getting? Because sleep can like really impact your weight, as we all know. And so if you think about the proliferation of pharmaceuticals in our life and in the context of sleep, people think take an Ambien or, you know, the melatonin pill or any over-the-counter solution It's not about that. It's about behavior change. And Kinsley, something that we talk a lot about is transformation, right? But a lot of people don't know how to transform Mattman because they haven't talked to people like you that are out there educating them on that part of their life. Don't you think?
Oh, the Sleeping Bandit is literally funded. He's my arch nemesis. He's funded by Big Pharma because he makes so much money just prescribing Ambien, prescribing the melatonin pills. You could do it yourself. You could keep your money. You can keep your money. You can keep your time spent at doctor's offices. All of this stuff. Have you tried to sleep? Have you tried that sleep schedule? The moment, I want to put the Sleeping Bandit out of business because that dude's driving an expensive car. He's making all sorts of money, and he sleeps great. But that's what he won't tell you. He won't let you know you can control what you can control. Sleeping Bandit's my arch nemesis, man. I want to put him out of business.
Mattman, you actually wear your uniform in your retail store. And when people come in, it gives you a chance to really change the conversation from buying a mattress to talking about sleep and serving them. What kind of an impact did that have whenever you turned into Mattman and you started really talking about the purpose behind the product? And was it immediate? Did you immediately have opportunities to talk to people in a new way, or did it take time for you to figure out how Mattman would engage with these customers? Talk about that story and what kind of an impact it has in your real life store.
I think first and foremost, it didn't happen overnight. Even with my own sleep habits, it wasn't the first night I was like, oh, great, I sleep great. It's a long period of time. It takes a long period of time to find the voice or to find how to connect with people. But Mattman doesn't just truck around the store. I don't just get there, even in my door count stance. I'm not wearing Mattman. You'll see me as a regular dude, right? And when people come in, I'm often just a regular dude. But then they say things like, I don't know, or how do I do this? Or, they're looking for even more expert advice. And then it's not you know what? Let me just put your feet up. Let me get your feet elevated. That's great for your lower back. I'm going to put your head up this is going to help you breathe. Do you feel comfortable? They'll be like, yeah, I feel comfortable. Okay, hey, you have to stay like this for just 1 minute. I'm going to put you flat. So, so that we're just showcasing the bed. And I ask for 1 minute. I'll be right back. Come right back in. And this is where, hey, Clark Kent, he sees somebody in trouble as his normal self. And Batman, he sees Bruce Wayne, he's at a party. He sees that there's a problem. Even Spider-Man, he's on a bus and he's looking out and he sees the problem. They all disappear and then reappear. So that's what I do. And then now I'm coming in and just like that, hey, I know the answer to this. And here's what we're going to talk about. They're usually even still elevated in their positions, and then we'll lay them flat after a moment talking about sleep, and then they feel how much they've been stretched out. So, that's an engaging way to show the game changer adjustable base we have. And that is, in essence, the way to show them the power of customizing the mattress they sleep on. Just get them to try it for a few minutes, not just for 1 second or whatever. So then, to talk about good sleep, I actually am shocked. Some people will brush this off. They're like, oh my God, this guy's dressed like a mattress costume. And it's hey, no big deal. Some people, they absolutely don't respond to it all. And other people do. Other people love it and they're fun. So put up your flag, right? Hoist your flag up there. And the people who find it fun, you won't get them to just leave the showroom. We literally have to have refreshments. We got to have a bathroom, all this stuff, because these people will stay for 30 minutes, after their purchase, just to hang or to talk. And that's the effective time of really talking about the sleep, talking about habits, getting to learn who these people are, making friendships out of it, because now, it's the full experience, and you can get an idea of, if they're just checking in on a price and they're going to be back, you've learned all these cool things that you can talk to them about again, or maybe they might tell you something that wildly changes the type of bed you would have recommended that wasn't in do you need a firm or a soft, or, had you started shopping before, the basic questions that you'd ask most people. So It's a lot of fun because also they just don't expect it. No one else walks into a store and expects a giant guy in a mattress uniform. So occasionally it is quite the sight.
And I love when you talk about that because some people fully connect with it and other people don't. But no reaction is the worst thing that you could possibly do. So a love it or a hate it reaction is really great. And like you said, you're flying your flag and probably I know you're creating word of mouth with it because unbeknownst to you, I played a voicemail from you on last week's show. If you didn't listen to last week's show, it was all about creating a personal brand and how you can invest in your salespeople being their own personal brand because people connect with people. Do you have any of those like word of mouth stories where people are like, yeah, I heard there was a mattress superhero here and I decided to come in and check it out? Or I know that there was the podcast story too.
Yeah, not too much yet, only because the way that I used to get out in the community hasn't happened in a year due to the pandemic and everything. But pre-pandemic, I was going around running a bunch of 5Ks, and you go to these events and, maybe 2,000 to 5,000 people are at them, but you might, you're always wearing different stuff and you're always focused on, oh, shoot, I got to run. You throw on the mat suit and a cape and you do the run. And by the 5th or 6th run, that's when all of a sudden people are like, I remember you. Can we take a picture really quick? Like, I've seen you at a couple of these. But then there's this community of people that kept going to the events that you see over and over again. So unfortunately, that was a little bit interrupted by the pandemic. But I'm really looking forward to trying to get back at those events because, A, those people will absolutely remember the guy who wore a mattress and ran. But I haven't seen him. And to see him again and say hello, hey, we all made it through this, pandemic. We're still here. We're still running. Those events like that, that's a lot of fun.
You know what I like about it, though? It's, we talk about dare to be different, right? So you decide to do it differently. We talk about it in the book, and you've done that. And even the guys that aren't engaging with you, Mattman, they're definitely going to remember that, especially if you're in the store and you're out. And even if you got a kid in the store and the dad's like this, play it close to the vest kind of guy, and he's not going to, acknowledge that he finds this fun or interesting. That kid's going to remember. The mom's going to remember. It doesn't matter if they show you some kind of reaction. They're going to remember you. So I love that you differentiate yourself that way. But the other part of it is you make it about sleep right from the beginning, right? And so it's with you. It's not just about the mattress, right? It's your superhero personification is about solving righting the wrongs of bad sleep. It's not a product centric approach. And so that's what I love about how you represent your store in that way. I think it's so
cool. Yeah. And parents never not engage because my goal, so I'm a gamer, right? And I, for years had terrible sleep habits because gamers love to stay up late and game and then just the next day survive to do it all over again. And so when kids come in, I try to explain to them about the benefits of better sleep or how they can get an edge. Like they're all using the same Xbox. They're all using the same console. So no one's got a faster internet connection or a faster computer. The only thing you can do is have a faster reaction speed. And you get that by going to bed early, not staying up real late. And so I even smash my own buddies sometimes where it's just like, yeah, you guys are just tired. And you just, so then parents love that because, I'm just trying to help them also, finish their homework faster so that they can get to gaming, learn things quicker so that they can do their own thing. So it's all about trying to get kids what they want more of.
So that's fascinating too. So wait, have you ever seen, Mattman, any kind of writing, because you're a gamer and I know you do a lot online and research and that stuff. But have you ever seen an article, even one time, where someone's talking about gaming and they're talking about how to be better at something? It's a tutorial, it's whatever. And someone says, hey, man, if you're not sleeping well, your reaction time isn't as great, therefore you're not going to play as well. Have you seen that before out in the gaming world?
Hard no.
But that makes so much sense to me, right? If the kids want to be better at gaming and that's the outcome they're after, then to tie sleep back to a better result there seems like common sense to me. If a parent was trying to talk a kid into regulating their sleep pattern a little bit so that they're getting better sleep, that seems like it would make a lot of sense to be
begging
able to
for their
the
kids
table,
to do
right?
that. The narrative is more like, hey, you want to game faster? Here's a mouse with a faster DPI. Here's a monitor with a faster refresh rate. Here's a graphics card with a higher hertz. And here's everything. And then you get this wonderful computer, then you use it at like 75% of your potential because you're exhausted. Like, what's the point, right? You could have actually just used 100% of your potential on the slower machine and been a higher performer. So, yeah.
Have you guys ever gone out and done something mechanical or something that requires movement, like swinging a golf club or bowling or even playing a game, and you're working at it, and then you have a couple of good nights of sleep and you come back and you're like, why could I not get this before? Like, I was working so hard, but the sleep, well, you know what that is? According to Dr. James Moss, who's been on the show, this was like back in like the teens. We're 200 plus episodes in. But Dr. Moss came on, and I asked him about this principle that he outlined in the book, which was this idea of sleep spindles. And his research and his argument was sleep spindles only occur whenever you have contiguous, uninterrupted sleep, usually between the 6th and 7th hour of sleep. And those sleep spindles are tied directly to motor movements. So if you get access to that sleep spindle moment in your sleep cycle, then you're going to be better at performing these movements. And he had he seemed to be proving it out with the Olympic athletes that he worked with. There was a young lady, super talented, but her friends started getting better and better than her, and she was going to be an Olympic qualifier. And her parents are like, we can't seem to get her to this next level, like doing the triple axel and things like that. And he said, well, let me review her schedule. And she was getting up at 4:30 in the morning to go to practice and then practicing again in the evening. And he immediately pulled the plug on that. And he said, she's going to sleep in the morning. She's practicing once a day. And they're like, we can't do that because all of our friends are going to basically say that we're not working as hard as them. We're going to face a lot of peer pressure. And he said, well, you wanted my advice? There it is. She's not getting the sleep she needs. And he explained sleep spindles. She actually went with Dr. Moss's program, qualified for the Olympics after she was getting chipped away at by these other more talented athletes. So if you're a gamer and you're trying to master motor movements, be quicker. I remember back in my day, like way back, I'm trying to get Mike Tyson's Punch Out. And I get to Tyson, and I knew there was like a combination because my friend's dad could do it, but I could never get it. So I'm sure that is on steroids today in terms of how to get past levels and all the stuff you need to be able to do.
That's right. Sounds like that girl unlocked a superpower, dude.
She did. Speaking of unlocking superpowers, I want you to give advice to retail managers and retail sales associates out there that may be afraid to do something differently. Because you've pioneered this space in a way, in a very visible way within our industry. And there have been other sleep superheroes maybe in the past, but you have really been so intentional about this. And you've differentiated yourself in your marketplace. You've differentiated yourself in our industry. And I know that as things begin to return to whatever new normal that may be, beyond supply chain issues and such, people are going to want to connect with folks on a deeper level. They're going to want to help them transform their lives through better sleep. I'm seeing it. And we're seeing through you that it actually works. So you're an RSA, you're a new store manager, you're a retail manager, you're sitting there right now listening and thinking about what I can do now that will pay off later. What can I build toward now? What advice would you give them? How would you guide them?
That's a big one. But one thing I wish I would have done earlier is the networking portion in the local community. So especially with the way Facebook works and like watching, say, restaurants open up over the last year, and you don't normally get these big reveals and grand openings. Like networking with those people or like Chamber of Commerce's local networking groups like if you had to, there's pay to network ones too, and those are fine. Like all of them, to be a part of something or some group external of you. And for us, we've got nationwide marketing group. That's a big one. That's our industry related. But then in our local market related, it's chambers, and I'm in one called Lake Norman Small Business Network. So doing all that, because then you're meeting all sorts of people who will share like best business practices and talk about their days and help build context so that oh, okay, like I'm not the only person who's got issues training staff members or issues doing this, and you can kind of brainstorm your own way out of trying to fix problems, or so you don't feel drowned in the day-to-day workings of what you're doing. Because if you just go to the store and you're in those four walls every single day, you will see only that, and that is not an appropriate picture of the business you're trying to build. Like for us, it's in our foundation statement. We want to be more than just another mattress and furniture store by positively impacting the lives of the community and the people we serve. So, we think of that, and you start to get out there and meet people, and that's, like suddenly like you have people you can refer your customers to that are, share your core values, and they refer you people back, and then your local area has the best, gets the best service, whatever you need, like whatever products you carry, but then other people carry. And by helping these other people have successful businesses alongside you, you're actually just raising the bar from where you live. So don't just live in your four walls. Get out there and network, go to ribbon cuttings. Like if your chamber is not that great, look for other ways. We're a little special with Lake Norman. We've got a wonderful little community surrounding this lake in north of Charlotte. But I mean, we love where we live, so that's how we invest into it, and we get to meet all sorts of people. If I had started that, 14 years ago when I started with Sweet Dreams, I would be in a whole different trajectory in the way I am today. And I love how I am today. But I just wish, that's my one big regret, is I didn't start doing that a lot sooner. So
I just want to add something to what you said, Andrew, because I think for a lot of people who may be listening to that, the thought might be, so what's really going to a Chamber of Commerce meeting going to do? What is the direct outcome from that? Am I going to sell more beds as it relates? Am I going to be in the meeting and then give cards out, and then they're going to come in and buy a bed? And I really think it's short-sighted, because at the end of the day, that stuff is about building a foundation and a connection to them. And so that when the time, it's kind of like brand building, right? I mean, when the time is right for them to be in the market, then you've already created that relationship or been in their head or said something in a meeting that made them think. And that's really the beauty of that, isn't it? I mean, you serving them in the immediate need, and then later them coming back in and saying, hey, I remember what you said. I'm here. Help me.
Yeah, don't go to these events with your card saying, hey, call me to buy bed. Call me to buy bed. It's like
Right.
if you wanted, if you hadn't been networking and you needed a resource for that, the Go Giver, or the Go Giver Sells More, or there's the third one, Go Giver Leadership. It's like a trio of books. Like those talk about, like, you meet someone, try to add value to their lives, because then by adding value to their lives, you've given them something. And then if we all keep giving each other, there's a big circle. And I'm not going to spoil the book, but like those sleep resources, or there's not sleep, networking resources are great. So then you can go with stress-free, like you're not going to sell something. And I can't stand when people are trying to sell me, like they don't know anything about our payroll or our health insurance, and they're me like, here, we can solve your problem. They don't even know anything about us. They haven't, like, they don't know how many stores or employees we have. They're just asking for an easy sale, and that's not how it works. So in our category and industry, I guarantee you might be the only mattress person. If not, there's only a couple mattress people and furniture people that even go to this stuff. Like, we've got several other giant competitors. I've barely seen them in comparison. So our industry, like, you'll see 50 bankers, tons of real estate people, like tons of chiropractors. Like, because they all know the power of networking. They all know the power of adding value to people's lives and being out there. Not that many mattress and furniture people. You'll stand out just from getting out there all on its own.
And we're going to link up to those books you mentioned, the Go Giver series. So if you go to this post on fam.news, we'll link to those books so you can grab them. And it's not just, what I love too is it's not just you going out there and being present. You clearly are doing something above and beyond, because the Lake Norman Chamber of Commerce gave Mattman, gave Andrew Schlesser an award. What was that all about?
It was Citizen of the Year award in 2019 because I had ran in 10 5Ks to help raise money and to help build energy and help those causes out. So it was that, and also going to just a metric ton of events for all the different places. We had our own party at the end of the year that, we took one of the business after hours. And normally, you see anywhere from 30 to 60 people. And, Katie and Greg Law, the leaders who taught me how to lead, they were doing this. They've been doing this almost for 20 years now. So then I was doing it too, and we had our own chamber event, and suddenly there's 150 people in the store. And granted, we always cater free beer, like we host, man. We love it. Greg Law loves a good party. Shout out to Greg. So, but building all that energy, that's the connection of the community is there, and that's partly of what the award was about too, because we're going out and making those connections with people, and I was never doing it to sell a bed. I was really just doing it because it was hilarious, fun, and then even today, the hardest thing you can do in any nonprofit is raise money. Like you can give people pillows to auction off. Somebody's still got to buy those pillows. You can even donate your time, which is fairly expensive depending on your family life and work life. But donating money is the big one, and raising money is an even bigger challenge. So to help anybody do those things, you're really just helping them achieve their dreams. And whatever their dreams are, it helps other people invariably if it's a nonprofit.
Man, how many people, when they come into your store, do you think actually understand their sleep? So they may know that they're not sleeping well, right? But how many people that you guys come in contact with do you think really understand the dynamic of sleep, why it's important for them, and how to fix the problem?
Oh my gosh.
Say out of 100, what percentage out of 100 do you think? Really
I would say it's
that?
sub 30%.
Sub 30%, and so then isn't a lot of what you're doing, like as you're thinking about your business, how much of it is we have to educate people about that issue?
I'd say it. So it depends on the person. Those folks that don't engage, they want to buy a bed and they want to get out. Like, hey, I need a twin size bed. Get me out of here. I got stuff to do. But the people who do engage, like 100% of those people are ready to learn about sleep. So one of the things I learned recently too, which is going to change in my own sleep habits, is sugar before bed, like 6 p.m. or after. Sugar raises our metabolism up a little bit because it's energy, and that raises your core temperature after a few hours in your system. So I learned this, and I've been selling beds for almost 15 years in September. How many times have I taken a bed back because it slept hot? Because the person who's saying it sleeps hot is like eating an ice cream sandwich like I like to eat, like right before bed. And then their core temperature goes up. And I'm just like, oh no. Oh no. Like, it's happened, I'd say like 1 out of 5, there's no science backing that, but I know that when I would eat an ice cream sandwich at 9 p.m. and then I wake up at 3 a.m. to, stare at the clock for 5 minutes or something. Like, that's even in the last 6 to 10 weeks that I noticed, I seem to wake up about 2 to 3 o'clock in the morning. Funny, do I have to use the bathroom? Not every time. But sometimes it absolutely can be my ice cream sandwich. So, like that's a big one. I didn't even understand that. So if I'm doing all the sleep research and I'm still finding these things that I do that I don't know affect the way I sleep, like the average person has probably a very small portion, just what their parents taught them about sleep, and that's what they're going on. Or maybe they, the fortunate few might have watched a few documentaries. The best people have sleep trackers. I will say that anybody who I've ever started the whole, hey, I do sleep, and they have a sleep tracker, I'm suddenly talking to someone on an even playing field. Like they're like, no, actually this. So they seemed a lot more informed than just the average person. And that's actually up and coming in a sleep episode that I got coming out with Mattman.
Ooh, I can't wait. And I highly recommend, if you're running a store, working in a store, if you have anything to do with selling mattresses, go over and listen to all of the adventures of Mattman. They're on fam.news. You just go to fam.news and go to the podcast, and you will see Mattman. You will see him in his pink and blue background and his sleep superhero outfit. And man, I just love that you're connecting the dots for people, because if you do walk in and you leave and you start blaming the mattress for your continued bad sleep, wow, you're going to really hurt your business. So it's an opportunity once every decade to talk to people about sleep, educate them, and not have them blame the mattress.
Mom spaghetti. It was an M&M reference, like,
Mom
to be honest.
spag-
So it's like it's the beginning of one of the episodes, but
Oh,
and then my mom was just like, "What about my spaghetti?" And I'm like, "Wait, I love your spaghetti."
that's right. Well, and clearly your efforts in the community have driven foot traffic into the store, but we got to do our official segment.
Are you ready to drive more foot traffic?
You bet we are. You hear that guy thumping bass? Listen. You thump a little bass, don't you?
Yeah. Why didn't you call me in for that one, man? I'd have thumped that.
Huge mistake. You know what? We're going to have to plan another concert whenever Primetime's back, coming up in August. But
Right.
in the meantime, people are trying to find ways to drive foot traffic into their stores. You do it. You work on it every time. I know Katie has put on a pink bunny suit. You've had people sleeping out in front of the stores. But what really has worked for you in terms of driving foot traffic? You talked about the connection between purpose and cause and foot traffic. Connect those dots.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So as the pandemic is waning a little bit with people getting vaccinated, there's been a few ribbon cutting events I've been to. And so I've noticed the same thing about every business opening up and our own business model, that you've got to have a cause and you've got to support something. So Town Brewery is this place that just opened up, and you can pay it forward, and every certain beer they have coins that they put into a jar to donate to a certain nonprofit that they were working with. And for us, it's like Bags of Hope is one that's a local, kids that stay at home with the whole pandemic, and maybe they weren't getting the lunches that they had during the week from school. So now here's like a bag, literally a bag of food, so that you can eat this weekend. And if your parents didn't have the food, you're not going hungry. Here's a bunch of food. So by partnering with them, and suddenly you got people tagging each other on social media. We've had customers sit down and are like, "Man, we really wish we could think of an excuse to come in here more than every 3 to 5 years, for like another bed for a different mattress in the house. Like, do you have any?" Sure, just come drop off some food for this like really good cause, and you give them a pillow for doing it, or maybe like a small Sweet Dreams cash that we view as solid tender, like U.S. based currency is Sweet Dreams cash. So any of that stuff, because then people love working with someone who's working towards the greater good. And all of these places that are open up, my wife and I went to a coffee shop this morning. It was before 8 a.m., which is my caffeine curfew. And Lent is over, so I have had some coffee. Blessed. But even then, you could buy a $3 cup of coffee and it go to the next first responder through the door. So and that's like, shoot, did you just want to do that for somebody? And then, yeah, I love this place. And now that's the story people are sharing to their friends about you, not like they sell a mattress. Oh yeah, and there's stuff there to buy. But did you hear this?
Purpose and cause equals foot traffic.
Brought to you by Door Counts, the only known treatment for traffic blindness. No, the UPS guy didn't come into your store 5 times today. Those were customers, and you have no idea what happened to them. Door Counts is the cure for traffic blindness. Increase conversions, boost sales, and make customers happy. Visit doorcounts.com today.
And of course, make sure when you walk into your store, you're doing the Door Counts dance, people. I'm just saying. Mattman, you are a living legend in my mind. You are, in my opinion, the world's most superhuman retail manager. Is that what you call yourself? Is that
I
your
am
title?
not superhuman. I am human. You cut me, I bleed.
No, those are 2 separate words. Super.
Oh,
human.
gotcha.
You're superhuman.
Not the one word together. Syntax. Oh, yeah. Hey, thanks. I appreciate it.
Well, it's been fun talking. Like, do you have anything that we didn't ask you that you would want as a go-giver that you would want to give to this audience, the people who are working in furniture and mattress stores, the people in this industry? What would you want to impart upon them that maybe we didn't ask you about?
Shoot, man. Things I've worked out in my own retail history is, first of all, selling beds for more than a decade, you're going to see some people back. And the first time they were in, they might have exchanged 1 or even 2 mattresses, and that have been somewhat of a challenge, right? So what I would say is, man, if you are in this for the long haul, it's your family or you just love the industry, if you didn't get it already, you've got to just bygones be bygones. Water under the bridge, man, and take some responsibility for that, because maybe 10 years ago you weren't the salesperson you are today. So when that person comes through the door and you look up their history, you just hey, I see the bed that you finally got or something. Because I had a little bit of retail, not anxiety, but I had issues because I wasn't letting go of that. And also sometimes it was definitely my fault. I might not have asked the right questions, and that's why we didn't land on the right bed the first time around. It's not, just because somebody exchanges a mattress doesn't mean they did something wrong or whatever. So really don't focus on any of the bad customers or any of the customers that it doesn't go swimmingly. Just try to do your best, stay in touch with them, follow up, and make sure, hey, is everything great? Are we squared away? 10 years down the road when they're shopping with you again, that's what they're going to remember. They're not going to remember how many times they swapped out their bed. They're here again to shop with you. So if you've got employees that are sitting there when you walk in the door and the first thing they do is tell you about, oh my God, this person brought their kids in. Can you believe how they were just everywhere? Nope. Did you have any positive customers experiences? Because the bad ones, why replay them, right? Why go back to that? And instead, just focus on the positive ones and keep trucking forward, because man, there's not enough time. Like you only get so much time in a day. You want to spend it on the things that actually matter. So that's probably the one tidbit I'd say.
Well, Mattman, Kinsley said it at the beginning of the show, and I'm going to say it again. We love the fam, and we love that you're part of the fam, because we learn from so many people inside of this industry, and you're definitely one of them. And you have such a fresh perspective in terms of how you look at stuff from a retail perspective and just from the consumer's perspective, really. And so you inspire us. We love that you're engaged. We love that you're purpose-driven. Everyone we've ever met at Sweet Dreams really is the dream team. You guys do it. You get it done. The spirit of abundance is clear with you guys. So thanks for what you're doing. So glad you're part of the fam. And it's your day off, but you still decided to come on the show with Kinsley and I. So I think we should do a tequila shot toast to you,
Oh,
sir,
shoot.
for your day off. Are you?
Well,
are
I'm
you
not ready yet.
Can you engage with us? All right. Well, we'll hook it up, and I'll count it.
Ooh,
Down
there's
here.
literally
I got to
what is
pour
inside my
mine.
tequila shot glass? Hey,
I don't know, but you can't.
The
So
tequila will
nasty.
kill it. Don't worry, Kinsley.
good.
That's right, Kinsley. Don't
Yeah,
worry about it.
okay, I'm gonna pour it
Tequila will
now.
definitely kill it.
We gotta do the official toast for Mattman.
Yep. No doubt. Mattman, here's our official tequila toast for you. Thank you for having your Dos Marcos shot glass handy. Here we go. It is to great sleep, my friend, and to living your best life.
Here's a rat.
Thanks to you and for all you do.
Mattman, you are a rock star. Check out all of his episodes at fam.news. He's over there. He's just dropping gems of wisdom one after the other. I've gotten so many little tidbits, like just the idea of one chance every decade. I love that one. This is like one of my favorite. Because if you were going to say one thing to a family member every decade, like if you only got to see him one time, you would make that message the most meaningful it could be. And that's what's happening when people come in and they look for a mattress. It's like your one chance to interface with them every decade. So you are a great teacher, a great service to our team, our fam, and we love you, man. You're great.
Woo! Hey, it's fun to be here, man. Love being part of the fam.
All right, Quinny Quinn, what do they need to do? Subscribe to us?
Well, go subscribe. Definitely go to the fam.news. By the way, if you're listening to this now, if you go to fam.news, you can subscribe. And if you do, you get a free version of the audiobook. So you can't go wrong with that, right, Mattman? Mattman's got his audio version. And also go look us up on Spotify, iTunes, podcast, wherever you get your show. And give us a rating. 5 stars for Kinsley's hair alone, if you really think about it.
It's underneath the Willie Nelson hat right now, though.
Today, but it is, but I got my Dream Team's Sweet Dreams hat on. But anyway, go check it out and give us a review. It always helps. And whatever you do, tell someone about the show. There's a lot of content in there and on fam.news that is helpful, and this show is no exception. Mattman, you're shining a bright light, my man. Thank you. Come back, will you? Will you come back on another show?
Yeah, I mean, I got to go defeat Tyrannosaurus Rex because allergy season is upon us, and people are out there just sawing logs and, like they're all congested and stuff. So once I get that cleaned up, I'll send you guys a podium message or something. We'll get back in the same room.
You rock, my friend. Have a great rest of your day, and go save some sleep.
Visco foam alone to make you drip sweat. Get a hybrid mattress, yes, you'll get better rest. Cool and comfortable. Hybrid like a sweat vest. You know the game, we're ahead of the sun. Cause the two of us together are way better than one. Cause I'm cool as ice. And I'm hot like a heater. Bounce by the ounce, now we got it by the liter.
Well, you take a spring and you wrap it up right. You can sleep so smooth or bounce all night.